What's up, Yeti Club? Universal just announced the full lineup of houses and scare zones for HHN 30, so I'm gonna go through them now in order of my hype rankings, give you Universal's description of them, and a quick little review of each detailing why they rank where they rank on my hype board. Let's jump right in. First, let's talk about the scare zones. Honestly, they had been a bit of an afterthought for me, but now that I've seen the full lineup, I am very stoked. It was way harder than I thought it would be to rank these, just because of how cool they all sound. At number 5 is Seek and Destroy. A ruthless alien cyber regime led by the Controller has taken over New York, turning humans into fuel. Succumb or be destroyed. This sounds like it could be a really fun, alien-esque area, and I love that they'll have their own brand of icon in the Controller. At number 4, 30 Years, 30 Fears. The monsters you've most dreaded from past Halloween Horror Nights have taken over the streets. They're back and your history. I love this area because I love the history of HHN, and seeing all this cool stuff from the past that I never got to see it myself in person will be incredibly fun. At number 3, Crypt TV. Step inside Crypt TV, a dark universe of monsters that reside in the same reality, on your screen, in your pockets, and now San Francisco. This one might have been the biggest surprise for me out of all of HHN, just because Crypt TV is a YouTube channel. I had no clue they had the kind of audience that would land them a spot at HHN, but I think this zone will be incredible. Crypt TV has so much material to choose from, and so many amazing monsters and creatures in their catalog, I cannot wait to see what they do with the character design in this section. Number 2, Gorewood Forest. 16 years after the gory sacrifices of Terra Cruentis, the heartless Terra Queen is back. Evil is in her nature. I cannot wait to see the Terra Queen make her glorious return. The original Terra Cruentis zone was way before my time, so I love seeing this continuation of that awesome and rich lore they put into this story. Terra Queen is like an icon in her own right, so her return should be spectacular. And finally, the scare zone I'm most excited for, Lights, Camera, Action, Eddie's Revenge. Get ready for the feel-bad movie of the year. Eddie Schmidt, Jack the Clown's brother, is filming a horror film, and the monsters are real. Speaking of icons, here we have Eddie, the icon who never got to be. He finally gets his chance to shine. This one will be such a fun and cool chance for Eddie, the brother of Jack, to be the icon he really always has been. Plus it sounds like we'll get a whole cast of other monsters too. I can't wait. But now, of course, let's get to the real deal, the houses. At number 10, Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. You're about to discover the sinister reality behind the seemingly innocent childhood tradition. All children must give up their baby teeth to the goblin-esque tooth fairies or pay a gruesome price. It's an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Step into an old manor house that has been swarmed by yellow-clawed fiends, dripping with blood, teeth, and gore. Grit your teeth as you see the evil fairies extract their tooth bounty by force while their victims struggle in vain. Hold in your screams or risk exposing your own teeth to their monstrous, grasping claws. This sounds like it'll be a fun house, but we have already seen it and it was my least favorite from HHN Light last year. I think this will pretty much be a filler house for most people unless they've given it some upgrades, which could very well be possible. At number 9, The Bride of Frankenstein lives. This time, the Bride of Frankenstein is stepping out of the shadows and taking her fate into her own bloody hands. The mate will have her monster, and the monster his mate. Enter the Tower Ruins, where Frankenstein's monster pulled the lever to bring down the walls and destroy him and his bride. Recoil in horror as she tries to bring him back at any cost, honing her diabolical genius one harvested body part at a time. Don't get caught between her and the brides of Dracula, who she captures and drains in hopes of reanimating her love. This one would be higher up the list for sure, except for the fact that we did see it during HHN Light, but it will still be a great house. At number 8, Beetlejuice. Say it once, say it twice, say it 3 times, it's time to turn up the juice and see what shakes loose as the original film comes to life, more twisted and terrifying than ever. Beetlejuice will haunt, taunt, and send you screaming out of the haunted house. He'll torment you as you wander checkerboard hallways and abandon you to your fate in the Lost Souls room. He'll menace you through the model graveyard and join in the fun of Dante's Inferno. Be a part of the infamous dinner party scene and witness Beetlejuice's chaotic wedding. It's showtime. This is the last house getting brought down for being a part of HHN Light. Although I didn't personally get to see it, I have seen enough about it that it dampens the hype a little bit and brings it down to number 8, but I'm still very excited. At number 7, Puppet Theater Captive Audience. Open Scene, a creepy abandoned old theater from early 1900s San Francisco. A puppeteer and ballet troupe have been trapped there ever since, and they'd kill for an audience. Whether you're a puppet or a patron, that's your cue to scream. All the blood will drain from your face as you see the green room run red with blood. Your horror grows as you come upon grotesque living marionettes made from severed limbs. If you manage to escape their gory puppetry, then you'll become a part of the skeletal audience rotting in place. On the surface, this one honestly doesn't sound all that interesting, which is why I think we're going to see some really crazy stuff inside to amp up the excitement. And keep in mind that just because these houses are further down on the list, that doesn't mean I'm not excited for them. It just means I'm merely super excited for them, whereas the houses further up the list, I'm so excited that it's really hard for me to put it into words. It's no disrespect to these lower houses, it's just that someone has to be at the bottom of the list, because that's just how lists work. At number 6, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You've seen the 1974 horror classic. Now it's your turn to experience it for yourself. Enter the dilapidated Sawyer house and meet Leatherface and his demented family of merciless butchers. Will you make it out in one piece or in pieces? Step right inside the story, experiencing every nightmarish moment for yourself. Explore every familiar room of the Sawyer home, from the parlor to the blood-spattered kitchen. You'll face carving knives, meat cleavers, meat hooks, and of course that roaring, slicing, flesh-ripping chainsaw. Although the franchise has been visited before and chainsaws are the cliche haunted house prop, I still think Universal will make this a house to remember. It's a great use of an all-time classic franchise to celebrate HHN 30. At number 5, Case Files Unearthed. Legendary Truth. Follow the trail of a private eye as an investigation into the supernatural leads you into a dark world of ghouls and terrifying creatures. This one was not on any spec map that I saw. I'm really excited about it for that exact reason actually. We simply almost know nothing about it. The description is open-ended and leaves room for so many possibilities, I can't wait to see what this house is like. At number 4, The Wicked Growth, Realm of the Pumpkin. An evil rot has taken root in the land. It's time once again for the rise of the Pumpkin Lord, who grows Halloween like a malignant vine. His minions are scouring the countryside, collecting unwilling sacrifices in order to summon the Pumpkin Lord. The closer to Halloween, the more people practice the traditions, the greater the powers of the Pumpkin Lord grow. As the pumpkins grow ever bigger, your fear grows ever greater, and your odds of escape grow smaller. From the cemetery to the forest, there's no breaking free from the tenacious vines of the merciless Pumpkin Lord. I don't know why or how it happened, but at some point I gained an affinity for pumpkin-based creatures. I'm assuming this Pumpkin Lord will be the same as the one seen on some merch last year during HHN Light. If that's the case and we finally get to see him in person, we might just have a strong contender for my new favorite HHN monster. At number 3, Welcome to Scary, Horror in the Heartland. The town placed a sign at the entrance to Cary, Ohio, saying it's a nice place to live. Unfortunately, nobody lives here very long. No one escapes from Cary, where bad things just happen and new terrors rain down year after year. If it claws, bites, feasts on blood, or just likes to rip people to shreds, it somehow finds its way to Cary. Experience an endless parade of unimaginable terrors, from horrifying creatures to bloodthirsty maniacs. You can scream all you want in Cary, but everyone's too busy doing their own screaming to pay much notice. I am so incredibly happy that this house got confirmed. What a perfect house for HHN 30, as the town of Cary has been so deeply intertwined into the history of HHN, being visited and referenced so many times. I can't wait to finally get to experience Cary for myself in all its glory. At number 2, Netflix's The Haunting of Hill House. It stands like a brooding creature, waiting for its victims. Enter the decaying remains of an aging mansion that lives, even if all who dwell there are long dead. Step right into Netflix's supernatural masterpiece, The Haunting of Hill House. Each unsettling room, each darkened hallway takes you deeper and deeper into your worst nightmares. Come face to face with the tall man, the bent neck lady, the ghost in the basement, and more. Enter the Red Room and you may find yourself spending all of eternity listening to the sound of your own screams. The Haunting of Hill House is one of my all-time favorite shows, and the Bent Neck Lady is one of my all-time favorite characters, so seeing them brought to life will be an absolute dream come true. And finally, the house that I am most excited for at Halloween Horror Nights 30, Halloween Horror Nights Icons Captured. Over the last 30 years, Halloween Horror Nights has introduced a murderer's row of original characters. Now they've joined forces, some newly risen to true icon status, to form a monstrous hell of fame, taunting and terrifying you at every turn. You'll meet Jack the Clown, the Storyteller, the Caretaker, and many more, all in one house for the first time ever. As you search for escape, you'll encounter tormented victims, as well as each icon's demonic superfans. Who's the most evil of them all? Depending when you visit, a different icon will reign supreme. I've talked before about how much I love the icons, even though I've never gotten to experience them in person. So now that I'll get to see them all at once in one place, I don't even know what to say. This is the perfect house to have here for HHN 30. I honestly can't say enough about how pumped I am, and with that last line about different icons reigning supreme, it sounds like this one will be perfect to experience over and over, time and time again. So there we have it, the full lineup for Halloween Horror Nights 30, and we are less than a month away until opening night. I can't even describe how excited I am. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you are too. Thank you for watching this video and sharing the hype with me. Make sure to like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you at Halloween Horror Nights 30.